What's up, guys? This is Jared here. So, we basically covered the triangle of cringe, as I like to call it. The triangle of cringe is basically weeaboos, bronies, and furries. While I am leaving out a few other types of cringe, to me, those are the biggest, the most popular scenes out there. They're very bizarre scenes. When I was growing up, the scenes other kids were into, they weren't quite as weird as this, but really I'm against any scene because it's all fake to me and it's just trying to be something that you're not, and a masquerade, putting on a mask. I'll get into that in a minute, but let's talk about weeaboos. All right. I want to tell you guys a story though first about a gentleman I used to be friends with. We haven't talked in a while, but his name's Weeaboo Matt, and he's a pretty cool guy. Like, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about him. We've had a few run-ins, we had a few fights, but all in all, he's a pretty solid dude. So I just want to say, and I failed to mention this in other videos, but there's good and bad people in everything. And I'm not going to say, every weeaboo is a cringe lord with a stinky wig and, who likes to LARP with their sword. Not every weeaboo is like that, and I get that, okay? So don't think that, like, I'm attacking every single person, but at the same token, I mean, there's a lot of cringe. Like, it's overfilled with cringe. I mean, the cringe level is just, it's dangerous. Like, it's enough to burn a hole in the ozone layer. Um, you know, that one episode of Regular Show, I love that episode where they were something about how they became so cool that it endangered the ozone layer. It's kind of the opposite, I guess. But anyways, that was my favorite episode of Regular Show. I forgot what season that was from, but anyways, so yeah, with weeaboos, let me just say this before I start digging into these people. I like anime. I'm not the biggest anime fan. I'm not the biggest buff. I can't tell you, a whole lot of different trivia and all that, but I enjoy it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But with that said, there is some cringy stuff I have seen. I don't mean to sound like an elitist, but it probably is more like the newer stuff, because with anime, you have to realize, like, anime is, the translation is, doesn't that just mean like Japanese cartoon? So it's not just stuff like, Dragon Ball Z. It's not just action and testosterone. There are animes out there that are very cringy, and I've seen them, and it's just people who watch that stuff, it's rotting their brain. Same with bronies, who watch My Little Pony. That show is cancer. It's not even entertaining. And so don't think I'm talking about stuff like Dragon Ball Z when I talk about weeaboos. I don't even think a lot of weeaboos even like that stuff, quite honestly. I mean, I'm sure they like some of it, but I think it's like the, what do you call the Nutakus or new tacos, Taco Bell? I think they're more into like the action stuff. But I think with weeaboos, it's more based on cringy stuff, like autism screaming, mushy mushy, and crap like that. That was a terrible impersonation of a Japanese person, but anyways, that's what I want to get into though. Is that weeaboos? This is what I'm talking about. Of putting on a mask, trying to be something you're not being happy with your own self. They try to cross culture themselves, and I've seen this with other people too, not just weeaboos. Like Americans who call themselves Buddhist. That makes me cringe. I mean, I'm a pretty spiritual person, and I believe in chi and stuff like that, but I would never, never on my mother's grave would I ever call myself a Buddhist, being a white man. That's just so incredibly stupid and such a contradiction. So when I see these weeaboos try to act Japanese, it's so shaming. I mean, it's just, I don't see how these men have any sort of dignity at all. I mean, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they probably don't even like themselves. And that's why they do it. I've talked to weeaboos who have no self-respect and no love for themselves. It's very sad. And I feel sorry for these people. I want to make that very known. I do actually feel sorry for these people because they have problems. Like, mentally, their shit isn't right. I don't think a lot of them ever go outside their house. I think they just like to play with their swords. That sounded dirty. They probably do that too a lot with their weeaboo pillows or whatever you call them, anime pillows. Don't get me started on that. That's some super cringe. But watch the Filthy Frank. I hate anime video. It's a masterpiece. But anyways, with weeaboos, like, look, man, do what you love. You know, life is short. It's meant to be enjoyed. But you have to realize, man, when you make YouTube videos of yourself with your anime pillow and you go to these anime conventions acting all retarded, it doesn't necessarily say good things about you. Same with the bronies, going to their brony conventions, playing with their brony dolls, same with furries and all the unspeakable things that they do. It's just, guys, listen, you need to wake up and see what kind of cringe you've become, really. Like, you need to take a good look in the mirror, all right, guys? Because I know a lot of weeaboos. Like, I think a lot of them are probably intelligent people. They're just socially off. We'll just put it that way. Socially, the wheels ain't running. Quoting Ace Ventura, the engine's on, but there ain't nobody behind the wheel. That's kind of what a weeaboo is. They're just, the shit isn't right. And this is what happens, man. This is anti-socialism in a nutshell. These are the devastating things that happen in a society where kids stay at home and don't go out. You have stuff like weeaboos, furries. You didn't have any of this shit 50 years ago. And do you want to know why? It's because kids went outside and they played. They didn't just stay in their house, jerking off to weeaboo porn. They had friends, okay? They had real life friends. And I'm not talking about internet friends. They would go to each other's houses. This is what I did when I was a kid. I had a friend named AJ. He was a little bit of a weirdo, but that's all right. I was too. And we'd go to our house, each other's houses, and we'd do our little weirdo thing, driving each other's parents crazy. I remember his mom. She looked like she was about to have a mental breakdown one time. I felt so sorry for her. But anyways, when you're a kid, it's okay to be, weird and crazy, but not weeaboo crazy, like not furry crazy, okay? That kind of stuff is just, it's not normal. We'll just put it that way, okay? And I'm all about being, different and strange and weird, but to me, all this stuff, guys, it's just, it's a mental disorder, okay? The behavior, what it stands for, it isn't right. And I feel so sorry for this generation, because if I was a kid growing up like these days, it must be so hard for normal people to make friends. Like, for people who aren't furries and weeaboos, it must be so hard for them to fit in, because I see so much cringe in the world right now. Going on the internet too, like with YouTube. YouTube is full. I mean, it's like 80% cringe, and it's just it's really, really sad, because I can tell it's devastated the world. And I'll admit, I'm kind of a tinfoil hat. Like, I believe there's something behind this. I believe, like with My Little Ponies, that show, I swear, that show was meant to make people autistic. Like, I'm not even joking. You watch that show for 5 minutes, you're going to be like in a vegetable state, crying out for some My Little Pony dolls. It'll be a big mess, and your mom's going to call the police and have you arrested, because she probably thinks that, you're going to go, like, I don't know, there's something really bad, like shoot up a school. But anyways, so that's all I got for you guys. Weeaboos. Man, it's very effeminating too. I didn't mention that, but the whole culture with these skinny little guys with their wigs, and these annoying, fat, overweight females. I mean, I'm okay with a girl with a little bit of meat on her bones, but these girls are just disgusting. I have to be honest. I wouldn't date them if my life depended on it. I mean, they're just, yikes. I mean, they just, Some of them have no shame at all, though, and I'll support them for that, for at least being that courageous. But my God. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.